Now, in order to create custom global address list, right, we'll be making use of Exchange Management Shell. Now, in order to have custom global address list, what we'll do, we'll have some users and we'll input some company name. Now, why we require this custom global address list? So the reason being we require custom global address list because let's say if you have multiple companies in your organization, subsidiaries, for example, we have Tata Group. So Tata Group has Tata Motors, Tata ELXE, Tata Healthcare, etc. And you want to define that users can see only their global address list related to their own company. They should not be able to view names or email addresses or recipients of any another company. That's the reason you can make use of global address list. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to define couple of users. I'm going to define couple of users and in that properties of that user, I'm going to provide the company name. I'll be using any dummy company name. Let's take these 9 users, or sorry, 4 users or 5 users, and we will define the company name. I'll include Sonali also. Right, user 3, user 4, user 5, user 6, and Sonali. I'll be defining the company name. So I'll right click, I'll go to properties of these users, organization, company, and I'm defining the company name. Let's say I'm giving the company name as, for example, Shiva Corporation. Right, so I have given the company name as Shiva Corporation. Now we'll go to the PowerShell. So before that, we'll provide the mailbox to the user 4. We have not given mailbox to user 4. So first, let's provide the mailbox to the user 4. So here we don't have user 4. We'll provide the mailbox to the user 4. Right now, user 4 has also a mailbox. I'm opening my PowerShell. I'm not opening my Exchange Management Shell. I'm opening my PowerShell. I'm running it as admin. Now I'm going to fetch all the users from my Active Directory who have the company name Shiva Corporation. So we will type the command get-user, get-ad user, where I'm filtering it by the company name. I'm saying I need company where company name equals to Shiva Corporation. And I want to pipe it with the help of user name. So I'm piping it and formatting the format list with the user principal name. And I'm pressing enter. So you can see it is giving me all the 5 users who have the company name as Shiva Corporation. Right. Now I'm going to create a global address list. So for that, we need to navigate to the exchange management shell. So I'll exit from the PowerShell and we'll open the exchange management shell. So my exchange management shell is up. I'll clear the screen. I'll press CLS. We'll clear the screen and we'll navigate to C drive. So we have a bigger view. Now, first of all, I'm fetching the existing global address list. So I'll type get hyphen global address list. So it is saying you have the default global address list. Now we need to create a new global address list. We need to create new global address list. So what we'll do, we'll provide the command new global address list where my address list name I'll be providing. I'll be saying Shiva or GAL. GAL stands for global address list. Now I'll include all recipients. I'll include recipients where my recipients I'll say all and they should have a conditional company name Shiva Corporation. Right? So I'm providing a conditional company Shiva Corporation. Right? I am including conditional company as Shiva Corporation. Let's press enter. Recipients. Sorry, my bad. It would be included recipients. So my GAL is created in the name of Shiva Corp GAL. Recipient filter, we have given company should equal to Shiva Corporation. So it has created GAL in the name of Shiva Corporation. Now let's again run the previous command get global address list and enter. So now you can see we have both the GALs, the default global address list and Shiva Corp GAL. Clear till now?
Yes, sir.
So this is how you can create a custom global address list. Now we are going to create offline address book. Now what is the purpose of offline address book? Offline address book is assigned to the users so they can access the address book via Outlook if they don't know what is the email address of the recipient. So they can go to the address book and they can search for the name and they can directly click on the name and automatically a email address will be populated. So first again we'll see how many address book offline address book we have. I'll clear the screen and we'll run the command get hyphen offline address book. It is saying at present you have the default offline address book. Now we are going to create a custom offline address book. Now, in order to create an offline address book, you need to add the gal to the offline address book. So we already saw that if run the command get global address list, so we have two global address list. Now we want to add that global address list to the offline address book. So we'll run the command new offline address book, where we'll define the name. I'll give the name as Shiva Corp offline address book OAB, and it should include the address list as Shiva Corp Gal. So basically, I have created a Gal global address list, and I am including that Gal in the address list offline address book, and I want to distribute it, right? So I'll say global web distribution enabled. I'll use the parameter global web distribution enabled. I'll say global web distribution enabled, where I'll say it is true, and I'll press enter. Okay, enabled spelling is wrong. Right, so it has created a offline address book, and it has included our address list, that is global address list, in the name of Shiva Corp Gal, right? So you can see it has included Shiva Corp Gal address list and the offline address book, that is Shiva Corp OAB. Now let's again run the command get offline address book. So we should be able to see now two address book. Clear till now?
Yes, sir.
Now let's say you want to distribute room list, right? So we have equipment mailbox and we have room mailbox. Now, when you want to give access to the conference rooms or equipments to the user so they can book those equipments or conference rooms via the Outlook web access or Outlook. So they should have that list in their address list. So if you want to create a room address list or equipment address list, that also you can use or you can create with PowerShell. So at present, if we go to our Active Directory and we'll go to production, we have uh, projector second floor, projector first floor. So these are equipments, and we have conference room 1 and conference room 2 as the room mailboxes. So I want to create a address list for the conference rooms. So what I'm going to do, let's navigate back to the Exchange Management Shell. I'll clear the screen and we'll run the command new distribution group. Let's say new distribution group, where I'm giving the group name as, sorry, I'm giving the parameter name and as conference rooms. I can give with spaces, without spaces. I'm already using quotations, or I can say conference room list for better understanding. And what I want to add So before adding, I need to store this distribution group because this is a distribution list. This is a DL, right? So I need to store at some location. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to store it under a new OU. Let me create a new OU. It shall say resources. So this is my OU resources. I'll go to properties. I'll go to attribute editor and I'll filter it out. So only writable values. So you can see this is my path. Right, so my path is, no, sorry, that's not the path. I search for the distinguished name. Okay, so this is my OU resources. So it is located under the domain, under domain users and resources. So I'll provide that path. So I'll put quotation. I'll put quotations. Where in the quotations, I'm going to type the path sp.com/. So it is under domain users. And under that resources. So this is my path where I'll be storing my this distribution group. I'll press enter. It's giving me some error. Okay, so my bad. I need to have forward slash. From the text command straight out. Sorry, yes, my again mistake. I've given the path, but I have not defined the parameter. I have directly defined the value, so it should be organizational unit. Organizational unit. Enter. It might take a little bit time. Let me check my domain control. Okay, domain control has gone down. That's why it is creating a problem. Let's come back. Okay, so it is created. It is successful, right? And the primary SMTP address is conference room list at sp.com. Right, it is successful. Now we'll fetch the distribution group. So let's get the distribution group. Get distribution group. We're saying you have three distribution groups. One is conference room list, one is marketing group, and one is sales group. Now what we are going to do is we are going to add the equipment, sorry, conference rooms to this distribution list. We are going to add the conference room to the distribution list. So first of all, we'll fetch how much conference room or what conference rooms we have, right? So we'll run the name get distribution group where my name is conference room list, and I'm going to pipe it and format listed as name as well as the recipient. Name as well as the recipient. And I'm going to give recipient as wildcard character. So any recipient. So you can see it is showing me that I'm having recipient type as mail universal distribution group. Mail universal distribution group. Whereas others might be universal groups. Now we want to add the conference rooms to this distribution group. So what we are going to do, we are going to add members. So add distribution group member. So who will be the members? So first of all, we need to mention our identity. So the parameter identity in which group member or in which distribution group you want to add members. So the distribution group name is conference room list. We can pipe it also. Sorry, we can quote it also if you have spaces. I don't have any spaces in the name, but still I'll quote it, safe side. And here I need to add members. So I'll okay. So I'll add member. So my member will be the email address of the conference room. So we have two conference rooms. If we come to production, sorry, HR, we have two conference rooms. So conference room one, let's copy the email address and I'll paste it and I'll give space, sorry, comma, and another conference room email address. And we'll press enter. Uh, I'll try to give one by one. So one is added. I'll add the second also as the member. Now we have two members in this conference room list. And this distribution group which we created, we have two members, conference room first floor and conference room to first floor. Clear till now? Any doubts?
Clear, sir.
Clear, sir.
So I'm going to run the command get distribution group, and my identity is conference room list. So you can see we have universal group, it has email address, and it has display name. Now, so we saw how to create a custom global address list. We saw how to create offline address book, and we saw how to create a distribution group for the conference rooms. Now we created a distribution group. So let's navigate to Trisha's account or any user's account. So we'll navigate to user files account, or let's say we'll yeah. So Sonali at sp.com. Let's log in with Sonali's ID. I will click on the new button. We'll click on the to button, and here we might be able to find the distribution list, and we can see we have conference room list, and we have two conference rooms. We have two conference rooms. So let's say if she has selected conference room, and now she can write a mail, but instead writing a mail, what is recommended, that you can go to new calendar event, and here in the location you can add a room, where you can see we have two conference rooms now available. Conference room 1. Now the conference room booking can be done from here. Clear why we did created the conference room list? Yes, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
I'll discard it. Now let's come back to the exchange management shell. I'll clear the screen. Now we are going to see how to create a new address book policy. We are going to see the new address book, how to create a new address book policy. So in order to create an address book policy, you need the global address list, you need the room list, you need the address list, and you need the offline address book also, right? So we created the offline address book, we created the global address list, we created the room list. Now we'll create first address list. Let's say I want to create a custom address list. I want to create a custom address list. So you can do that using the exchange management shell also, and you can do using the exchange admin center also. So let's go to exchange admin center. So here we'll go to servers, no, not servers, sorry. And so for what we'll go to probably organization, yeah. And under organization, we'll go to address list. And here we'll be creating our custom address list, right? So at present, which address list is given to the users? It is given all contacts, all the default address list. We want to create our own address list. So we'll click on plus icon. Let's say I want to give the address list name as Shiva address list, or we can include spaces also. So I'll say I want to include where I have only the following recipient types: users with an exchange mailbox, and I want to include users from the container, recipient container, under my domain users. So I'm basically including all users, or I can say all users, and I can preview which users will be included. So these all users will be included in the global address list. Now here you can see it is including projector also, and it is including conference room also. So that is not the right option. So what I'll do, I'll move those conference and projector mailboxes from HR to the resources view. Now in the marketing, I'll use the container marketing, I'll use the container production, and I'll use the container HR. I'll not use the container finance. I'll not include the users from finance container. So we'll go back to the exchange management shell, and here I'll define the container again. I'll select I need from marketing, add. I'll add one more rule. I need to include the, okay, okay, I'll make use of only marketing for you. I'll not include, so I'll say marketing address list, and we'll click save. So it is saying we need to update it. So my address list is created. We'll click on the update. We'll update it. So we created a new address list. We created a new address list. Now we will create a new address book policy. We'll create a new address book policy. We created an address list. We created a global address list. We created an offline address book, and we created a room list also. So we have created room list also. So now let's go to navigate to exchange management shell. We are going to create a new address book policy. Now, before creating the address book policy, I want to review my address book, offline address book name, global address list name, right? So I'll fetch get hyphen global address list. You can see this is my global address list. I'll copy it on notepad and I'll save it. So this is my global address list. Then I'll have offline address book. So we'll type the command get hyphen offline address book. So I'm going to take this as my offline address book, and we need the conference mailbox. So we had created new, sorry, get distribution group. So this was our conference room list, right? We need to have this as the conference room list name. And apart from that, what we need to add, we need to add the address list. So address list we created just now with the help of UI. You can see we have created this. So I'll double click it and I'll copy the name from here itself. Right, so this is my global address list. This is my offline address book. I want to create a new address book policy, and then in that new address book policy, I want to add these stuff. I want to add all this. So what we'll do, we'll go to the exchange management shell. We'll say new address book policy. The policy name we'll give, right? Name Shiva address book policy. We'll define the global address list first. See, it is not necessary what should be defined first. So, but we'll define the global address list first. So my global address list name is Shiva Corp Gal. Then we will define the room list. So our room list is conference room list. Then we will define the address list. So my address list is marketing address list. And now we will be defining the offline address book. So my offline address book is Shiva Corp OAB offline address book. And we will press enter. The conference room was not found. It was not found. Conference room list. We had created a room list, right? Okay, at present I'll exclude the room list, or we'll view that room list. At present I'll exclude room list. Room listed is asking compulsory. Okay, let me give all rooms list. First I'll update it, then we'll execute it. Right, so my Shiva ABP address book policy has been created. Right, it has been created. Now how we will define this address book policy? How we will define the address book policy? So we need to navigate to our Exchange admin center. We'll navigate to servers and we'll select our database. We'll go to properties of the database. Sorry, and navigate to database, and we'll select the database. We'll go to properties of the database, and in the client settings, we have offline address book. No, sorry. Here we'll define that offline address book which we had defined, which we had created. We'll go to client settings, properties. So we'll give the offline address book here, and this also will define the offline address book. And we'll come to the recipients. Now let's say I want to give this new address book policy to a user. So let's say I want to give this policy to a user, Trisha. So I'll select the user Trisha. We'll go to the properties of the user. We'll go to mailbox features. And here you can see we have address book policy. So we'll select that drop down and we'll select that policy, Shiva address book policy, and we'll click save. Now, if we have 20,000 users, we are not going to do this for each and every user. So what we can do, we'll select multiple users at a time. So we can select multiple users at a time. And from the right hand side, you can scroll down and you can go to more options. And here you can see we have address book policy. So you can select the address book policy update. You can select the address book policy and you can click on save. So this is how you can provide the address book policy. Clear till now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So for today, we'll keep this much and we'll switch to the Azure session.
Okay.
Or shall I continue for more 15 minutes?
No,
No,
sir.
sir,
We'll
you
go for
switch
Azure.
to, yeah,
Sorry,
we switch to Azure.
We'll
we'll
switch to Azure,
switch to
sir.
Azure. So we'll take 3-4 minutes break and we'll start Azure. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sir, you, Santosh, sir,
Yeah.
you upload